Unfortunately, today is going to be a bit of a bad news day. Not a lot of good news to talk about, and one of the better headlines from a couple weeks ago has somehow been flipped into a bad one. You guys know how Alex Jones, following his defamation of the families and victims of a school shooting, got giga-sued and ended up having to file for bankruptcy and lost his company, Infowars? I think basically lost it, right? Or maybe it's like in a suspended state where he doesn't technically own it or not own it. Big deal. A lot of stuff went down. Pretty crazy. Pretty wild stuff, you know? Well, we got some good news a little while ago, and it seemed pretty uplifting. The idea that The Onion, the left-leaning satire news site, was going to be buying Infowars and transforming it into a meme platform that is centered around poking fun at and making fun of and satirizing the types of people who like Alex Jones. This is going to be huge. And frankly, I thought it was going to go through. I thought it was going to happen. But unfortunately, the judge has ruled in Alex Jones's favor. Judge blocks The Onion's purchase of Infowars amid legal battle with Alex Jones. Cannot rely on the legal system to make the right choices or do the right thing. It rarely does these days when it comes to these people, it seems. You gotta remember, even with how much bankruptcy Alex Jones has filed for, he is a right-wing pundit who has been a right-wing pundit online for a long time. He is extremely rich, and he has the money to stop things like this. I honestly think in hindsight, this should have been expected. Alex Jones has been a massive right-wing pundit for a long time. He has an immense amount of money, probably still. And he probably had pretty damn good lawyers, too. His company, Infowars, probably had good lawyers as well. Could have let the funniest thing happen. Unfortunately, we are in Nothing Ever Happens land. That is the name of our timeline. The Nothing Ever Happens timeline. I think it was a Trump-appointed judge. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. I would not be surprised if it was a Trump-appointed judge who ruled on this.
Breaking overnight, a judge has blocked The Onion from buying Alex Jones's conspiracy platform, Infowars.
The business was sold back in November as part of a defamation settlement after Jones falsely claimed that the Sandy Hook shooting was a hoax. Your reporter Olivia Schuler live in our studio this morning to explain why a judge blocked that purchase. Olivia.
Hey guys, good morning. Well, the decision to not approve the sale was made by a U.S. bankruptcy judge in Houston. The judge mentioned
Texas.
a few things that we're going to get to in 1 second. There was not problems, but more so wrongdoings in the auction process. The Onion offered $1.75 million in cash and incentives for Infowar assets in the auction. The Onion's bid was backed by the families of 8 victims of the school shooting and 1 first responder. Now, after the sale in November, the Onion planned to kick Jones out and relaunch Infowars in January as a parody. Ben Collins, the CEO of The Onion's parent company, posted it on social media saying in part he's disappointed, but The Onion will continue to seek a resolution that helps the Sandy Hook families. Now, Jones, who did not attend the proceedings, went on air to celebrate the decision, calling it the most ridiculous, fraudulent auction known in human history. Meanwhile, here in Connecticut, the lawyer for the Sandy Hook families who sued Jones say families have remained resilient through roadblocks and delays. The statement says in part this doesn't change the fact that soon Jones will begin to pay his more than $1 billion debt to families. Now, there will not be a new auction, and the judge is leaving it up to the trustee who oversaw the auction to determine the next steps. Your reporter in studio, Olivia Schuler, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
So yeah, there's no going back now. Whatever entity ends up buying up Infowars will probably be a right-wing, extremely wealthy, able to pay out massively institution that's probably going to bring Infowars back as it was, and probably even bring Alex Jones back as the host. So Infowars and Alex Jones as host of Infowars are probably not going anywhere. At this point, it seems like they're forcing the highest bidder to be the one who buys. They're going to make it so whoever bids the highest is the one who buys, because that was the issue here, was that the Onion was not making the highest bid and was trying to lock in legally the purchase when there are higher bidders. And so the Onion, or Infowars, managed to break out of the Onion's claim and is now able to pursue a purchase from a higher paying, probably sympathetic conservative organization. So now it's a matter of whoever gets Infowars next, or whoever gets Infowars now, is whoever can pay the most, and it will be a conservative Jones sympathetic outlet, almost certainly. Now, I know that this is pretty shitty news. I know it sucks. It really does. I don't think anybody here is happy about this, but I do have, I don't know if I'd call it a silver lining, but I guess something that maybe reduces the amount of mental damage you just took from this news. And that is that I don't think that, besides the moral victory, and we don't seem to be having a lot of those as a country lately, there really wasn't much of a tangible win from Alex Jones losing Infowars. Like, Alex Jones already had a very niche following. Like, a very large one and a very dedicated one, but one that is already dedicated to seeking him out on the deepest corners of the internet. I've always thought that you could take the platform from Alex Jones, but you can't separate his audience from him. They will follow him anywhere. They will find ways to support him, and they will never, ever stop. We will never not have a prominent Alex Jones, because his followers will always support him, no matter how banned or pushed away from mainstream he becomes. And so fundamentally, I don't think that him losing Infowars really would have made a big difference. I think it would have just kind of been a spiritual win of sorts. And yes, that's a spiritual win we've been denied, but at the end of the day, I don't really think anything has tangibly changed. But I guess the biggest difference is that now conservatives have more to celebrate about. Rush Limbaugh destroyed many a family before he finally choked to death. Yes, he did. Alex Jones is the new Rush Limbaugh in a lot of ways. It's actually fair Fantasyland shit. Yeah, I do think that we need to realize that a lot of these conservative pundits have grown to the point where they will always have a religiously supportive fan base. And with a religiously supportive fan base, you can do, in the modern world of politics, anything. I am predicting now, and many others are as well, that Aiden Ross is getting a position in government. It's going to happen. Aiden Ross is gonna get a position in government. Like, Trump has personally thanked and met with Aiden Ross numerous times, and even personally thanked Aiden Ross for being one of the biggest reasons he won the election. Aiden Ross is definitely getting some kind of government position. This is the power that being a prominent conservative pundit provides to you now. And Alex Jones is now is honestly a messiah in regards to that position. He is never going anywhere. And it's unfortunate, but as long as there are crazies who are this dedicated to their ideals, Alex Jones will always be their best representation until he no longer exists anymore. And even then, you're going to see clips of Alex Jones in like 30 years, well after he's retired or dead or whatever. You're going to see clips of Alex Jones that'll be like, you'll be able to visually tell how old they are just from seeing them. And they're going to be getting shared on social media in 20 years. And people are going to be like, man, if Alex Jones was around today, he'd be calling out this craziness the left is doing, and America would be seeing the truth. That's how they're going to talk about him, just like they talk about Rush Limbaugh now. Aligning with Trump is the ticket to success. A lot of them see it that way. Trump has lied to the American people, telling them that their side is the side of winners. And at a certain point, if you're told enough that this is the winning side, don't be on the loser side, don't be a loser, then you're going to go for the side that's telling you they're the winners, and the prophecy fulfills itself. Americans don't want to be on the losing side. Americans will vote for someone just because they think that's the person who's going to get the most votes. Hell, they'll vote for someone because they think the person who's probably going to get the most votes must be the best candidate. And that's the logic and vibes that a lot of people voted for Trump on this election. George Carlin would be hella popular right now if he didn't pass away in 2008. Conservatives talk about Rush Limbaugh and will talk about Alex Jones like people talk about George Carlin. Hell, they talk about George Carlin like that. They say, man, if George Carlin was around today, he'd be ripping the left a new one for all their crazy woke nonsense. He'd love Trump. Meanwhile, like, George Carlin's own daughter's like, no, he despised Donald Trump when he was alive. He would not like him as a politician. Particularly because George Carlin didn't like any politicians. They don't call George Carlin woke, Lil Tim me. I guarantee you've never seen a conservative call George Carlin woke. I've never seen that once. They try to appropriate him because he's popular and loved historically. Apparently they have not heard of anything George Carlin said. They pretend like what he says agrees with them. You gotta remember, all the rhetoric of conservatism is lefty rhetoric now. It's like pro-working class, anti-establishment rhetoric. It's just all with the means of getting people to radical conservatism and white nationalism. Anyway. I don't know. I think that Alex Jones honestly there's not going to be much of a big difference here with this Alex Jones onion situation. I know it sucks, and the judge is an absolute fuckwad. Genuinely on the tier of the lady who worked at McDonald's that reported the Luigi Mangione guy. I can't with his name, I'm sorry. Chuck Mangione. No, but I genuinely don't think much has changed here. I think that at the end of the day, this is just kind of like a cultural loss for the left, you know? Damn, Alex Jones got the W, he's celebrating. One of the most notorious pieces of shit out there has gotten a W. Many such cases this year, it seems. Many such cases. Regardless, though, if you enjoyed this segment, if you found it entertaining, educational, or somehow enjoyable, I doubt that considering this has been a pretty grim topic, then please consider leaving a like on the stream or the video when you're watching it, and a comment as well. Every like and comment goes a long, long way to boost my channel and the algorithm. In fact, it's the best way to boost my channel and the algorithm, and it's totally free. So likes and comments, they really mean a lot. Thank you to everybody who's hit that thumbs up button, especially live. If you haven't already, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Hit the thumbs up button. Do it. Like, right now, do it. And subscribe and ring the bell icon if you haven't already as well, so that YouTube tells you when I go live or upload a new video, and follow my social medias linked down below in the description, especially joining my Discord server and following me on Blue Sky. And of course, finally, if you want to support me directly, financially, and you can afford it and you feel like it, then consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub to me on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or perhaps even buying some merch through the Streamlabs link down below in the description. Regardless of how you support me, though, thank you so much for watching as always, and have a good one.